I'm Carol Berglund, and welcome to Carol's Art Creations. Hello, and welcome to Carol's Art Creations. This is a acrylic pour that I did. I'm going to pour over it today. I like it okay, but I just bought some brand new colors, so I'm really interested in seeing how they turn out. So, if you're new to acrylic pouring, there's a lot you need to know, and definitely there's a lot of information out there how to mix your pouring mediums you can buy ready to pour color, a whole gamut. So definitely check that out. Just Google it. And everything I've learned from watching different women with their YouTube channels, and so they're really great, and I'm happy to have come across this. Anyway, what I've got today is Payne's Gray, Liquitex. I've got Copper by American Decor, some metallic. Here's some red paint that I had mixed up from several weeks ago, and it's apple barrel paint. This is mixed with a glue and water mixture to create the pouring medium. This is some white. It's actually mixed with some satin enamels, American Decor, but it's beige in color. This is a slightly off-white. And this is golden yellow. It is apple barrel as well, and mixed with glue and water. And finally, this is a metallic green, American Decor, and it's mixed with Floetrol and water. Now, all the metallics are Floetrol and water, and the white is Floetrol and water. These are glue and water. But anyway, let's get started. So if you're new to this, it's really a neat hobby, something to do. Every pour is its own unique creation, and the possibilities are infinite. So I'm going to start today, and I'm going to do what I've learned as a galaxy pour. Another term is open cup pour, slightly different. But let me get my gadget that I need for the galaxy pour. So this is just a piece of PVC pipe my husband cut off for me. That allows me to fill the paint up and then release it real slowly. You'll see when I get started here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay down some white, just around the corners. I'm not going to use much of it. I'll try to be quick. One thing you don't want to do when you're buying supplies to do this hobby is you don't want to buy these colored craft sticks. They're too thin, you have to stir longer, and some of the coloring, as you can see, the dye actually bleeds into the color. I didn't know that, but I am using it up, but I'm learning, so I'm new at this. Let me spread this out. This previous pour, a lot of people thought it looked great, and it don't look bad, but it just didn't appeal to me. And of course I got these bright metallic colors that are better than the ones that I did have. This gold is supposed to be a metallic color. It looks a little dull. Once it's varnished it would shine a little bit more, but I'm definitely going to kick it up a notch with these Americana Decor metallics. We've got copper. So I'm interested to see how this comes out. The galaxy pour, you start with a puddle in the middle, and this is Payne's Gray. Trying to make this round. You put the pipe in the middle. And you go around the outer edge just to make sure you've got that sealed in pretty good. I'm going to create a little bit of a paint barrier around the outside to create a suction. That way when we fill the colors inside, we'll lift up and it'll actually go underneath this paint out here. It creates beautiful effects. And hopefully it'll work now that I'm on video. It's worked before, but we'll see. You know what they say about Murphy's Law, when you're trying to show something off, that's when it backfires, but I think it'll be alright. Okay, so I got my first layer in the pipe. I'm going to go with copper. And then the red. And when you do mix up colors, and if you get into this hobby, definitely invest in these squeeze bottles. So convenient, so much easier to use your paint that way. So much less messy. I'm going to put just a little bit of this white in. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to do the yellow first. As I don't want pink in here. Now a little bit of the white, rather off-white. And my green. That green's a little heavy. It sank just a little bit. And your colors, you want them kind of on top so they disperse a little at a time. When they sink all the way to the bottom, that's when they're dragging down and mixing with the other colors. A certain amount of that goes on. Okay, don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to pull this pipe up slightly. I'm going to pull it up while it's still in the paint and hold it and let the paint run underneath it. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to give this just a little tilt, a gentle tilt. Wipe my hands. I'm going to torch that where the color ran through. Get any effects. We want to get the air bubbles out anyway. And you can see a few of the little colors popping through. And the orange and red coming through. So I'm holding this up, and this is just gradually letting some of that color inside come out. And you can start seeing it now because the red's coming out really well. Let me move this around. See this side. This side's dispersing a little bit more. I'll be sure to relayer. Okay, so I'm going to do a little more Payne's Gray. Try to do a little bit less. Spot. Try not to drip, but you know, if you do, it's okay because some of this is going to come off anyway. And some copper. golden yellow. A little bit more of this off-white. And some green. I'll put this on with the stir here. And that's coming out pretty thick. Amazing, these cells. I didn't expect them to be that big. I didn't put any silicone in here, so surprising. Unless maybe I had put some in the white I forgot about. That's possible. The memory's not quite as good. Let's lift. Let some of the color come out. If you have a spinner, you could put this on and spin it slowly. It really does help disperse this a little bit. I do have a spinner. Again, my husband made it. He's so helpful. But it's square, and it really does better when you're not working on a rectangle canvas. More of the Payne's gray here. I wish you could see this at the bottom. It's like the pipe and the paint have a little seal. And then as the circle gets bigger, it's the paint coming up underneath. As you tilt the canvas, it stretches all these things happening, these little cells. You stretch them and they grow. It's kind of part science. I always loved science. It's interesting. Okay, so that's at the end of it. I'm going to put a little design in the center. I'll just take and swirl this. It left a cell right in the center. Cool. I love it when things work out. So many times they don't. Move my cup out of the way. I'm going to start tilting this off. I'm going to need to put a little thinner paint around here so this could flow out a little better. So I'm going to mix a little bit up. We use up this, and what we do is we take our paint, we thin it with water. That way it's thinner, so this thicker can grab a hold of it and flow outward, and that's what you want. This consistency is a little thick, so we'll just thin that out. in. Okay. I'm just going to spread this out a little bit. I can see the pink coming off. It's starting to bleed a little bit. I don't know if I've got the paint a little too thin, or if it's this paint's, the water in it is reacting. Okay. So I'm going to tilt a little more. You tilt and then you bring back to center and you try to keep your composition. Boy, this looks like a Christmas pour with the red and the green. Yeah, I've heard of Christmas in July. It's not what I was going for, but that's the thing with these paintings, is what you get sometimes a little different than what you envision. All the time for me. But it is really pretty. See if I could change the weight of the paint to run. And I want it to run off to that corner. And you see how it just flows over top of that wet white paint? Catch some of this paint. So it won't all run off. So I'm liking it red. Down to this corner. Wow, this really does say Merry Christmas to me. Let's take a look. Some of the time you're not really sure about what you think about things. Oh, white is like really broken up. So I wonder if it's the consistency or the interaction between some of the metallics. Don't know. tilting off some of that color, the upper spots I didn't care for. It's interesting. This is like, and the colors are beautiful, but it's not like, oh, I love it. It's like, I don't know. I guess I need to torch it and see if any more cells or anything comes up. You torch it, which means you heat up your torch, and ideally you run the heat over it without really touching the flame. Of course, it's hard to judge that, but you pop the air bubbles that way. If there's any cells that want to come up, sometimes the heat will bring that up. Let's see. Nope. Got some white coming up underneath there and through here. I think that's part of this, is the white coming up from underneath. I'm gonna let that sit. Don't know if I'll keep that or not. If I don't keep it, I'll probably scrape it. You just rake this over it. It takes the paint off. You can actually take your canvas and rinse it off at your sink, which I do like doing sometimes. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll keep this or not. Anyway, that's the basic gist of it, and I hope that you'll take up this hobby. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.